Hey there, YouTube fam. Tonight is Sunday night. It is my meal prep night, and I'm inviting you in to see what I do and also learn some tips that you can do for yourself, because if your nutrition is not on point, your fitness goals are going to be a little rough to achieve. So I actually love cooking, and I am getting into like a show prep mode, so very simple stuff. So without further ado, let's get into it. Tonight I'm making some chicken, because that's like my primary food when I'm getting ready for a show. I have some chicken cut up right here. I'm gonna actually marinate it in water and baking soda. That keeps it nice and tender. Shout out to my friend Roger. He put me on because I got stuck in New York. He made dinner for me and my husband, like a stir fry. And I was like, this chicken's so tender. And then he shared a hack and I was like, yes. So for the chicken I have here, I'm gonna actually use about a cup of water and just pour in. And it's not a lot because I actually have another like chicken option that I'm gonna share with you all. And then I think we're gonna do just like a tablespoon of baking soda. So 1 cup of water, 1 tablespoon of baking soda, and you'll be good to go to make your marinade. And we'll do it for like 20 minutes, 15-20 minutes. And I promise you, it is a great way to tenderize your chicken. And I like to do this whenever you're meal prepping, so you're not having to work with the meat a lot. You can let it do its thing while you cook and prepare other stuff. That is key. So there we go, got that going. So I'm gonna just lower it so you see you have baking soda, the water, and then I'll just mix it all up. I don't have a very professional setup yet. And I just make sure the chicken all gets coated with this whole mixture, and then I can set it aside in the fridge covered for that 20-minute mark and put a timer on while it marinates. Boop, there we go. For tip number 1 is make a grocery list. That's gonna be the easiest way for you to know like what you need to eat on your meal plan, keeping yourself organized, however you form that. And if you need a grocery list, I got you down below in the description box with a downloadable. Super easy. Now from there, you can make your menu of what will be like your lunch menu, your dinner menu, your breakfast menu, so you can have a set menu for a full week for all 3 major meals of the day. If you want to have 2 lunches, like I have 2 lunches, you can even throw that in the mix. But plan your menu from your grocery list and plan for 7 days. Here's where you need to be honest with yourself. If you have an issue of sticking to your grocery list, you are going to want to use a buy online pickup option, whether that is through like Target does it for free, some other places have it for free, a meal or grocery delivery service like Instacart, Kroger, however you name it, because that way you can actually give them your shopping list and that person is in charge of picking it and keeping you on track, and you're not left to your vices when you're wandering the aisles of the grocery store. They're designed to make you shop more and get off track, so you gotta have a plan to fight back. When it comes to your menu, just keep it simple as well. Like I usually have like 2 to 3 protein options that you could circulate. So for me right now it's chicken, salmon, and cod. And then I'll have like my main type of carb, which is jasmine rice, and then my veggie option is usually right now, that's green beans and asparagus. And with all those, I can put together just different meals for my needs. And my breakfast stays exactly the same throughout the week. I uploaded that actually on my Instagram. So if you wanna follow me on a daily basis, more frequent basis, I'm on there at Anissa Deshawn Fit. But right now it is just cream of rice with egg whites in it and blueberries on top. I'll probably start switching up to just doing like chicken in the morning with blueberries. That's kind of like my lean, mean fighting machine type of breakfast when I'm in contest prep. And if I'm not, like I'll have like protein waffles with maybe like some nice lean bacon and some fruit on the side and build in flexibility there. So I have everything planned out. I keep it super simple. I know some people, you're gonna want different type of options, or you're feeding a family, but truthfully, if you kept it simple to your sources, let's say you're not doing pasta, but your husband's doing pasta, you can easily like prep out like ground beef or turkey and be able to mix that in for them on the go, where you could do yours with like a replacement of zucchini like spirals and whatnot. So just keep it super simple no matter what when it comes to building your menu and your meals. So here we have chicken that's just draining out a little bit more before we start to work with it. After you have it like soak in the marinade of baking soda and water, you're just gonna rinse it off and let it drain, and then you can go ahead and start working with that. But if you're low on time, I have another tip for you. Using prepared proteins is always like an easy way to simplify and cut your meal prep time so minimally. I love the Good and Gather like chicken breast strips, and they have different flavors. This one is the fajita chicken, which I have been loving lately. They also do a Cajun one, and they also have like shredded rotisserie breast, which I've used that before. You can make wraps with these, bowls, everything, and it's already cooked, so I can really just skip everything, open this package up, measure it out in my little meal prep container, and be ready to go for this. So if you don't have time, there's a solution. Here in a pan, I just have a little bit of coconut oil. That is what I cook things in, and the coconut oil that I use is just the organic refined coconut oil. Big old jar will last you a long time. So this will be for my green beans. Usually green beans, I'm gonna just like hand cook them. I like them to get a little burnt too. Just something about that. You could also air fry it, use that one, or just bake it for a long time. And don't mind my cat, she thinks she's a sous chef, but we keep it clean. Anyway, so we'll cook down the green beans, salt, pepper them a little bit, and that will be my veggie that I split across my meals. And then in the other pan, this nice big mama pan, we're gonna make the chicken. So we have some cooking going on in the background. I just put the chicken on like a medium. This cooks incredibly fast once one, you've cut it up, but also it's really nice and tenderized. I did use the honey barbecue seasoning from Flavor God. This is it right here. So I like using the Flavor God seasonings. There's another one I found on Instagram recently, and I want to try some of their seasonings, but this I like because it is low in sodium. They also say it's like kosher, gluten-free, paleo certified, keto certified, all the certifieds and freeze. So grab this from Amazon or their website. They sell like different flavor packs, but I really was like, I like very savory food, so I have the honey barbecue. And it's definitely starting to cook. I like my food very well done. Almost a little overcooked on everything. And then if I feel like I don't have enough seasoning on it, I'll just add in a little more. Now that all this yummy is good, we've taste tested it, it passed the test, we're ready for the next steps where we have 2 tools for this. Next 2 things we're grabbing here is meal prep containers. The ones I use are the Pyrex ones. They're glass, I really love them. They're hold up. And then arguably one of the most important things so you can enjoy all this loveliness and stay on track for your goals, your food scale. Measuring your food, yes, it's a little bit of a task, but how are you gonna know what to track, what you're eating, and how are you gonna get to your goals if you're not tracking your nutrition? Period. It's a lifestyle adjustment change, and it will help set you up for success. So when you go out to eat, you can kind of now know what your portions will look like once you've gotten used to tracking your food. So that way, even if you're out to eat, you can stay on track when it comes to your nutrition. So let's get this going. Usually I'm measuring everything in either grams or ounces, and that is what my food scale will weigh out. If I need to do a cup of something, I'll just use like measuring cups and use that for tracking. Super easy. Whenever you have these, you can sometimes have, some of these scales come with like its own bowl, but this scale I've had for years and it's held up and it's not expensive at all. So I have it linked in my Amazon store, but I'll pop it on so then I'll restart it and calibrate it back to 0, put it to ounces, and I'm going to measure out how much chicken I need, which I think, if I'm not mistaken, let me look at my meal plan. Yeah, 4 ounces. That's so much for me. Like I said, closer to show, I was going very, very low in calories, so everything got slashed. 406. So even if it's like 4.06 ounces, I'm good to go. And I'll just do this like an assembly line and measure out all my proteins, and then I'll go back and add in all the vegetables, or you could do it one by one. So we'll keep meal prepping. When you have like a variety of meals prepped and ready to go, stocked in your fridge, it can get a little overwhelming because you're gonna be balancing which one's your lunch, which one's your dinner, etc. That's when the labels can come in handy. My husband grabbed these a while ago from Amazon for us, and I can promise you the household stays organized with our meals because of them. So what I'll usually do is put the date that I cook things as well, so I can just be mindful of how fresh it is. And then I'll put the contents of the meal on the label as well, so I can just remember which is the protein in that container and be able to grab and go with ease. The other things I may do is just label out which one's a lunch, which one's a lunch too, and which one is the dinner and breakfast, etc. So pick whichever way it makes it easy for you to stay organized, and you can put that on your label, set it on your meal, and again, be able to pull them out of your fridge with ease. Another thing you can put on the labels is your portion sizes, so you just don't forget how much you measured out as well. But right now, everything for me is pretty much 4 ounces of a protein, 2 ounces of my veggie, and I only have rice with like my last meal, so I'll just measure out like the cup of rice as I warm it up, and I'm good to go. There's 2 last things you want to do when it comes to meal prep. Is one, just set a routine, commit to a date, and block out that time. I really try to put a timer on so I'm not dragging on with my cooking and it doesn't consume much of my day. And the same thing, a routine around doing my grocery shopping and having supplies restocked in my kitchen. Meal prepping can be a lot at first because you're getting used to one, like planning out your meals, measuring things, etc. Clearly all the steps that we've done together today, but just stick with the process, give yourself some grace and have some patience. It gets easier with time. I started meal prepping back in 2019, and when I had to get back into like my whole fitness routine and back on top of my nutrition, it fell right back in place. It's like riding a bike. Once you learn how to do it, you're good to go. Now, if you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit the like button so I know that you like this type of content and I can keep it in mind for the future. And hang out with me more by hitting that subscribe button down below. Now, just because this video is wrapping up doesn't mean that the conversation stops. Just jump into the comments down below. You can say hi, you can tell me what you want to see next, and you can even ask me more questions about this exact video if I skipped over something that you want to know. Other than that, you guys, your girl has to put away all this food and get some beauty rest, some gains rest, and I will catch you in the next video. Stay strong.